everyone. Hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? I hope you are really doing great. It's been a long time, really, really long time. I think it's over a year now since the last uh, live stream in here. Welcome everyone. Nice to see you all here. Uh, Welcome back, everyone, and welcome for everyone who is new here. My name is Amir Ahmed. I'm an Egyptian architect, computational designer, and today I'm going to talk about Jack Rogerie Foundation 2022 International Competition Architecture Competition. I was a finalist in this competition, which is the the first international competition to participate in, so that was an exciting news for me to be a finalist in the first competition I participated in. So today, you know what? Let's just jump into it. Okay, so first of all, let me just go to after this one, and let's present. I think you can see me. Everything is clear, voice and camera presentation, everything is clear so far. It's been a while, so I'm not sure if I got the right setting for everything. Yeah, I think everything looks good so far. So about this, actually this should be working. Yeah, it's kind of a small animation for the lighting around the star. But anyway, before I start, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone ever supported my channel on Patreon. Really, really, I'm really glad for your support, and some of you even continued to support me when I wasn't streaming every now and then. So for you guys, you have a surprise at the end. For you who kept supporting my channel even when I wasn't streaming. So yeah, just keep watching, and your surprise is truly good. About the competition, so first of all, let me go to the website of the competition. I left the website of the competition in the the description box, but here is the website. Basically, you can simply, if you want to join this competition this year, you can simply sign up now. Click sign up now, and it's the website is French. If you want to translate it, you can simply when it starts, you can join. There are three major categories. There's the space focus and the sea focus and the sea level rise focus. The category I joined is basically sea focus. You can read a lot of the information in the website. I don't want to take that much time talking about it, but basically, uh, you know, I think what's most important to know is that this competition is free, and this competition is for everyone. Like everyone, you can join. Either if you are a student, if you are an architect, if you are an artist, if you are not even related to the fields, if you just a visionary and you have a vision you want to you have a vision, and you can make it into a project just go for it. It's a great competition, and you can read about the content of submission. You can read about the documents. By the way, there are specific names for for the documentations. شكرا جزيلا محمد مجاهد. شكرا جزيلا. There the competition basically has two phases. Phase one, you submit your, let's say, your concept, your architectural design. It's supposed to be almost finished, like maybe if you don't want to visualize it, or maybe visualize initial renders, you can submit it. There are some things that are not mandatory in phase one, but it's essential for phase two, such as the animation and another stuff. So you can read all of that. I think you can, once you read it, you can understand what's going on. Also, I think you should read about more. I want to highlight the criteria of the design that you know the judges are usually take into consideration. So there are biomimicry and bioinspiration, there are architectural design quality, there are innovation and techniques, there are place of human in the project, there are sustainable development, graphic design quality, respect of the competition rules, and respect of the theme. You need to take into your consideration all of that. I think one more thing, you can also read all of that. The competition agenda is really important because you will know when the competition is open. Last year it was open in 14th of March. This not sure when it will be this year, but it's usually around the same date or time. Wednesday is the closing project. There is analysis for phase one, and after you are eligible, you will be notified by email. For in my case, let me show you. I took a small screenshot of the email and put it into. Um, I took a small screenshot. Where is it? I'm sorry, 1 second. Yeah, it's basically this one. We will going to read, go deeper into the project, but for now, this is part of the email that I received, which is a huge bravo. We are delighted to inform you that your submission has been selected. You are a finalist of the 2022 International Architectural Competition by Foundation Jack Roger. Unfortunately, I don't know how to speak, how to read French, but the translation of it is Jack Roger Foundation Institute of France, Jack Rogerie, I think, Jack Rogerie Foundations. Google Translate, you know, I tried to pronounce it exactly like what Google Translate did it. So if I'm pronouncing it wrong, it's on Google Translate, not on me. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, let's go back to what we were discussing. I forgot. Yeah, we were here. Once you submit all the files that you need, you will wait if after this email, and once the email once you receive this email, you will be eligible to start working on phase two, which is basically finishing your design and reapply again for re-upload your files. By the way, you can in phase two you can remove the old files and put new files, because not remove them, I think. You can update your design, but not to, don't just design something else. Like you can update your design, but not like create another thing or make it totally different. Uh, yeah, this is basically about the design, but there's something, one more thing. I need you to go to the website and check the best of is basically the the projects from last years. So this year is 2022, but there is nothing uploaded yet, but the projects from last year are here. uh, the website before was in a full size, but I'm not sure why does it look like this in my computer, or in is it in general. But you can simply go to any project from the winner projects, or even the special mention ones, and once you click on it, you can simply go to this icon and see more about the project. Um, is it going to open? Okay, let's select another one. Maybe, yeah, basically you will get to a project. You can read about it. You can simply, check all the pictures, and after that there is a video, which is the animation that you need to submit. The animation is usually 1 minute. I think you are not allowed to submit like more than that. It's around 1 minute. And yeah, this is basically the introduction about the competition that I entered, and what's the basic things you need to know about. You can simply go to uh, the YouTube channel of the competition, and the YouTube channel has the 2022 videos in here. There are 7 of them, and there are all the other ones, the other years. They are totally interesting, and of course, I couldn't do that level of animation, but there are some cool animation in here, and some cool videos, and every video is 1 minute, so you can check them all. Like, in if you have a time, you can make an hour or something and watch everything, just to get an idea of what you are competing against. Because again, the competition is available for everyone, so you might be just a fresh graduate and competing against a professor, or maybe a big office or something. So just put everything you have on the competition, all of your skills, all of your knowledge, as much as possible, to rise your chances of winning. Yeah, that's basically it for the competition itself. Now let's go back to the project. So, Star of the Sea is basically a community or a place where human can live harmoniously with the marine life, because once human moved into the sea, we are kind of invading the marine life, and we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that the marine life and the human kind of live harmoniously as much as possible. So in this design, I have simply two stars. The main star, or the main star, is basically the one in the bottom, which contains all the essential elements to live underwater. You have home, you have transportations, you have food, uh, you can go in and out. There are some places to control some things. There are greenhouses, which is places to grow some vegetations. And actually, there are some cool features I will show you once we go to the actual details. But this one is basically responsible for harvesting all the natural elements, such as sunlight. I want to harvest electricity through solar panels. I want to harvest sunlight. I want sunlight to go down, not just through electricity, but natural sunlight, and also some greenhouses, some ventilation shafts. I'm going to show you some examples about. There are some turbines, because you are literally in the middle of the ocean, and the wind most of the time is crazy, so you can use this energy to get there. And beside this one is basically the entrance to the main star down there. So you can consider this one as the important one for the ones for the one in the bottom of the sea to function well. So yeah, the basic shape, if you can see, is basically inspired by starfish, obviously, but not just because of the shape of it, but because it has variety of shapes, and every shape has its own environment and interact in its own environment and survive in its own way. So it's not just the shape, but also some kind of biomimicry connection between the star that we are designing and the starfish itself. Also, the original design that I had in mind, it was to create multiple stars, but I decided to join the competition only 3 weeks before the first deadline, which I know I was kind of crazy to pull this off. But yeah, I didn't decide to join the competition until that time. And why I decided to join, it's basically because I decided to join so many competitions before, but it's usually either the competition is huge, maybe I don't have the right team, maybe I don't, the competition fees is high, because comparing the US dollar, or maybe the euro or something, to the Egyptian currency is high, so much so it's it's one excuse or another, like you have something happening, uh, but this time I decided, just like I did, just go for it. Don't think about it, just put everything you have in the competition and hope for the best. um, yeah, deep ocean are full of monsters, but we are going to discuss parts of that in here. Also, part of the naming came of this, which is basically when you look at the sky in a starry night, it's basically looking like the starry night had a reflection in the sea. So when you have multiple stars, you will kind of see lights everywhere in the sea. So it's kind of a reflection of the sky. So it's basically star of the sea. But I didn't put this part in the competition because I didn't think it was good enough. So not that. Actually, I didn't put this one as well because, if you saw the panel I did, it's the summary panel I did. I put a lot of elements in there, so there was almost no place to put anything else. And yeah, let's go. Let's jump into Rhino and see the actual design. And here we go. So this is I hope you can see it. Um, okay, so this is the main. This is the let's say the floating island. Yeah, I call this one the floating island. So this is the floating island. And as I told you, this one is basically the entrance, the main entrance to the uh, the main island, the main star. So you have multiple options to enter to this one. It's either you can go through boats and go to here to this area, which is the main entrance. There are five of them, or you can go through drones. You can simply land on these ones, these land pads, and simply land and go to your entrance, which is basically this dome. Actually, let me just go to shaded because maneuvering this file in rendered mode is not going to be a cool experience. At least, when we are moving around. So why I did this one like that? Because I want the boats to just enter from, to when you go from boats to the island, to the floating star, you can just enter from here because this zone is basically uh, a drone landing zone, so you don't want to be able to come through this zone and accident might happen. So this is kind of a safety and also a cool looking feature in the design. And once you go inside, there are, as I mentioned, multiple elements that we need to harvest in this one. So you basically know what is a vertical turbine. It's basically a wind turbine, but vertical because it captures the wind from every side. But I want to show you some another elements. This one also is a solar panel, which is kind of known to everyone. But let's just jump to here, maybe. And the next feature is this one, which is this one. What is this one basically? This one is basically responsible for harvesting sunlight. So how it works is basically when you go to here, and let's present this one. So what you can see in here is basically you have this photovoltaic cell, and it captures the sun and captures the light and basically push it back to this one. And when it push it back to this one, it goes through fiber optics cables, and the fiber optics cables push the light to wherever you need it to go. So this is kind of a small sample of it. In this design, I'm going to discuss ideas. I'm not going to discuss if they are functions, like it's just a concept, a futuristic concept. So all the ideas are basically based on current technologies, but it's not like already here. You know what I mean? Like this is basically the light collector, and it goes to through the optical fiber, and it goes to the light source. And this basically what the cables look like. You can see the cable shining through. It collects all the light and push it down to all the places that need natural lighting. So this is one of the cool features that we are going to discuss. The second one is basically this one, which is basically an air collector or air. It's usually used in mining, because in mines or in tunnels, in deep tunnels, you need air, you need fresh air, but you need to harvest it or collect it. So these ones is kind of a cool shape, or a cool design of these ones, which is basically a mine collector, a mine air collector, or I'm not sure what is it called exactly. Let me just check. Ventilation shafts, yeah, ventilation shafts. So yeah, these ones are responsible for ventilating air for both this star and the main star in the bottom of the ocean or the sea. And also we have greenhouses, which is basically responsible for harvesting or growing. Yeah, thank you so much. Uh, there are tropical domes out there, or we can call them greenhouses, tropical domes. You can call them whatever you want, but it's basically to grow plants, to grow crops, to grow vegetations, the things that you need to. This is one of the typical ones that you might see here and there, but this is one of the unconventional ones. I think this one was in an airport or something. I don't remember exactly, but it's basically a tropical dome, a place where you can put a lot of vegetations and grow a lot of plants into there, and control the humidity, the temperature, the air quality, all of these features. And also, as once you go to this area, let me go back to the shaded mode. So we are basically talked about all of these. By the way, these lights are not just a cool element, but it's basically to show you where the edges of the island air, or where the edges of the star air, where so when you go to when you go at night, and simply the light is basically with, let's say, point 2 or something, and the skylight, let's put it back to, actually let's make them point 1 and point 1 just for fun. So you can see how everything looks kind of at night, because when you are at night, you need to see where you are landing, so you have lights around the landing boards. You have lights around the main features, which is the drones, the solar panels, all the other stuff, and you have a skylight around the entrance, and you have stripes of lighting moving around the island, so you can see it clearly at night. So that's basically just to know what we are dealing with. Okay, so let's move this back to 1, and let's move this back to 0.25, kind of, so it will not have as harsh lights, as harsh shadows. Okay, so once you entered the let's just zoom a little bit. Once you have entered the the main entrance, which is this dome, you will have 5 elevators that take you down, either to the bottom level of this star, or the lower star at the bottom of the ocean. And here you will have just let's say, what is it called, a viewing area where you can just hang out in here and watch the ocean and all the other stars around it. By the way, this file has only 1 star because it's already super heavy. There is another file has 6 of them, but I'm not sure it will be a good idea to move around in this one. So yeah, this is basically most of the elements about the what you can see above sea level. Let's hide this for a second. And actually, let's move inside. What you can see inside is basically a few things, which let me show it to you in here. Once you move inside a little bit, you can see there are multiple zones. I think this one it showed it better. There are multiple mechanical zones, including energy storage, fiber optics cable, etc. All the things that coming from the top one, and part of it will be just a restaurant and market, and part of it will be a marine research lab, just as a zones. I didn't go as much details as this one, because I focused only on the star in the bottom of the ocean. So yeah, let's go back to here, and actually let's just take a look before we move forward. This is what it looks like in the interior. It's not that crazy, it's just assemble areas. And by the way, if we go to this one, should be floating as much as possible, and doesn't depend uh, on this one to support it. So when you go to the section, let's go to here and select this one. You can see that most of the area in here is kind of forming an air pocket, and also there are some air pockets in here. So this thing is basically almost like a ship. It's basically kind of supporting itself. I didn't go that much deep into structure and the floating stuff, but it's basically just as a concept. Let's say it functions as a ship or a floating object. So yeah, once you go down here, you can, let's just disable this for a second and go back to here, and you will have this object, which is basically, if I said isolate, you can see that this object contains the five elevators, five main elevators, and also contains the main shaft. The main shaft is basically transmitting air, transmitting the light, transmitting the energy, transmitting everything down and up through it. So I protected it by all these five elevators around it, and also it has a lot of lighting. So when you are moving down, let's go to the light again and make this, let's say, 0.05, and this one 0.0, I'm sorry, 0.05. And you can see that there are lightings around it everywhere, so you can simply see it from far. Okay, so by the way, this is what they look like in the bottom of the ocean, but let's not go deep into. Yeah, let's go to shaded mode again. So yeah, as you can see, this one, yeah, there's the main shaft, which contains the air tube, the electricity, the fiber optics, and all of that. And there's something I called bubble elevator, which moves around like a bubble, because when you are diving into the ocean and you have a bubble comes out of your breathing mask or something, it's basically go up just by the physics of the water and the air. So this elevator, it's basically a combination of an elevator and a submarine. It basically float up on its own. You might add cable to it, but you don't need that. Like you might add cables just for tracks, but you don't need mechanical things to move it up and down because the elevator itself moves like that. Let me show you. Let's actually, we are going to take a look at that, but let's go. Actually, we are going to talk about the bubble elevator, but let's go back to this one. So let's present. So once you go back to the star, the main star in the sea, let's talk about the features around it. Like let's go first into uh, the current turbines or the current electricity generators or something, because basically the water will move around and move these, which will act like a vertical turbine, but in this case it's horizontal, and it will move around, and it will generate electricity just like the ones you see in the ocean, in a lot of in a lot of oceans and seas, and sometimes in on the documentaries and stuff, which is generate electricity and provide electricity for this star to function on. If something happened to the star above it, you need to be you need this one to provide its own, but also you can get let's say an aid from the floating one. And also you will have this one, which is basically called a biorock. If you go to here, I think it's okay. It's this one, which is bioartificial reefs or a biorock, which is basically a grid of a specific material, and this grid grows. You know, what is it called? Coral reefs grows on it, and some marine life happens around it. So you are not destroying the bottom of the ocean. When you are creating your star, you are creating a pieces to basically restore parts of the things that you are destroyed when you are building the star itself. And also it will be a cool place to, just look down from the voids in here and see this grid, and see a lot of marine life happening beneath you. So this basically the current generator, and this one is the bioartificial rocks. And let's go back to this one. This one is basically called 3D farming ocean, or 3D ocean farming, which is basically when you look at it in here, you can see that there are some I don't know what is it called in English, but some kind of shellfishes, or seafood, basically. Some types of seafood uh, grow into that. You can put them in layers, and they will grow basically on the algae of the ocean. So it's growing on its own. You don't need that much work to put on it. You only just put it there and harvest it, and yeah, that's basically it. When you see I think there are some another pictures of it, you can see multiple forms of the same feature. And also, what else? Yeah, I think we need also to discuss this one, which is basically before we discuss this one, let's go up. Where is it? I need to organize this file more. But anyway, this is basically an algae, which is cool for again energy, producing energy, and also some of it is used as a food somehow, but I don't recommend that. Or maybe if you are using this as a food source, maybe you can use it as a food source for the fishes or some of the marine life. But basically, it's used for harvesting electricity and energy in general, because it captures light and make the plant's metabolism. I don't know what is it called in English, and yeah, that's basically the main idea of it. It's algae biofuel. It's called algae biofuel. And I think there are two more features in here, which one of them is basically um, the glass panels, or they are acrylic panels actually, or the acrylic domes. So when you are making something that holds so much pressure, you should make it in a dome shape, because the dome shape distribute the load kind of equally, and not hold that much uh, pressure on it, like when you have a dome shape. And the panels themselves are actually domes as well. So when you see them in here, let's go to this one. I'm sorry, to this one, and let's present again. So basically, the acrylic dome, the panel itself has an acrylic dome, and each acrylic dome is covered with an ETFE. ETFE is basically just like the Olympic. Okay, maybe I can show you what ETFE is. Just quick. ETFE facade. I don't remember the name. Yeah, it's basically this one. It's basically almost like a balloon or something, and yeah, it's on this amazing design. I forgot what was it called, but it's in China. It was for the Olympics. It has all the water games and stuff, but I forgot what is it called. Yeah, National Aquatics Center. The ETFE is basically an airfield, which basically acts like a glass, because it allows a specific amount of light and heat and all this stuff. But in this case, I'm using it as a protection. Why do I want to protect? I want to protect two things. The main thing I want to protect is the marine life itself, because in the marine life, uh, fishes and all these other creatures, usually when they see something like this, they will get curious and interesting. So they will try to breach through the acrylic dome, and the main thing I want to keep is to keep them safe from hitting the acrylic dome, and at the same time I want to keep the dome itself safe. The fishes don't know that ocean doesn't. They just swim around. So yeah, this basically to protect both fishes and marine life. So yeah, it's one of the features I added in the finals, because I thought it could be cool. And yeah, one more. Let's talk about also the doors. All right now we are still outside of the star. We still didn't get into it. So one more thing is the doors itself and how to enter. So I told you that you are entering from the elevators that goes down, and another way to enter is through the doors of the uh, through these airlock chambers, which is basically, when you go inside, this is how it works. This is the exterior door, and this is the part where is called the airlock chamber, and this is the interior door. When you are inside, this is when it's water filled, and this is when it's air filled. When you are outside and you want to enter, you are basically this part is going to be water, and the part behind it is air. So there are some small these are these voids. Let me show it to you in the section. I think it would be better to show it in the section. And let's go to this one. Okay, yeah. So these basically are the openings that drain the water and blow the water again into the airlock chamber. So, and this part is the landing part for the submarines, because the submarines in this case will just breach and land safely on this one, and when the water drains out, you can open the second door. So you are basically, let's go back to this one. You can see the process in here. You can simply go inside when it's filled with water. The first one is to fill it with water, and after that open the door and the vehicle goes in, and after that you close the door, you drain the water, and then open the door to the air inside. So it's basically, and this technique is usually used in submarine and also in spaceships. When you are in a spaceship and you want to leave, there is a chamber of airlocking, and you can go to the airlock chamber. It's two doors. One door with the environment of the spaceship, which is the air, and the other door opens to the environment, to the space, which is, I think, is nothing. And yeah, that's basically the door and what how it functions. So yeah, let's go back to now we are talking about some features of how to survive and uh, how to enter, and some of the interesting things happening around the main star. One of the things I want to talk about is basically the bubble elevator, and let's go to the shaded mode. Let's hide this one. I think it's here, hopefully. Yeah, it's this one. So when you go to the bubble elevator, it's basically, let's see where it was. I think it was here. Yeah. The bubble elevator, just like a submarine, the submarine is basically have something called the ballast tank, and the ballast tank contains the air and the water, and this is how the submarine goes low and up. So when you are controlling the air and the water going into these chamber locks, into these ballast tanks, it makes the submarine up and down. So the bubble elevator behaves the same. It's basically, you can just ride into this void, and these ones are ballast tank that make the elevator up and down, and the amount of air or the ratio between the air and the water controls the speed of the elevator itself. So you can, if it's totally full with water, you can go down super fast. If it's half empty water, you can go a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you can control the movement of it. And this side fence a little bit contains the wire in case you need the wires. But most of the time, I think the elevator could be simply a submarine, just going up and down. Yeah, and let's go to the design of, the interior design of the star itself, which is kind of an urban level a little bit. So let's go to here. I think it's one of those. Okay, and let's say that I want this to happen. Exactly. So let's zoom a little bit and see what is happening inside this one. Thank you guys. I'm sorry. I'm totally focused into this, so I didn't have time to read all of your messages. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Amir. Thank you. Um, I don't. I cannot pronounce your name. Is it Anakamoda? Anakamoda? I don't. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, let's go back to here. So basically, what I wanted to do is basically to make houses, make some housing areas, and these housing areas should have either a view of the ocean itself or a view of a greenhouses in the middle, and also the movement between them should be smooth because it will be run through electrical vehicles. So when you zoom a little bit in here, you can see when you zoom a little bit in here, you can see that there's a parking spaces beneath this area. And the one more thing about this part is that all the vehicles are shared. They are not personal. So uh, there are a specific amount of vehicles, so you can either walk because the distances from each house to the center of uh, the center of the star is not that far, so you can walk, or you can use some of the vehicles. And one more feature about it is that it's totally electric, and I even made a small, like, what they are called, a small electric chargers. So basically you are pulling over and keep the vehicle charging, and when someone else wants to use it, they simply can. One more thing was difficult for me, so I had to research about it, is how to make the roads, how the intersection between those roads move, because when you want to move from a specific place to another specific place, you don't want you want to go, let's say you want to go to the center of the city, and you want to go to this part. So I had to study a little bit about this. So this is I had to study some intersections and how they are designed. So these are some of the examples I worked on. and you can see how they function. And I basically took some of some elements from these pictures and try to apply them in here. So we are almost an hour. Okay. I'm almost done with the explanation, and after that we can jump into the tutorial. But yeah, one more thing I want to show you is basically the homes itself, or the residential part. By the way, there is this feature which is basically an observation area, which has a stepped design. Let's just try to zoom into it a little bit. Let's hope it works. Yeah. You can simply gather your family or friends and just sit on this area and just watch the ocean and the creatures of the ocean moving around. It's basically an observation area, and you can see them from your own home, but this one is just to go outside. You don't want to stay at home all day long, kind of. Yeah, let's go to this one and ignore it for a second, and let's go inside and see those homes. So those homes are basically inspired by an amazing design. Let me show you. It's in the description box, but let me get to it 1 second. I think I should open the description box. Yeah, I want this one, and best. Okay, so yeah, this is uh, this is basically the project that inspired my home shapes. I didn't copy the design, but I used the same idea because it's really a cool idea and it works, and you can simply design multiple things based on it. So when you look at some of the features, it's basically when you go inside, it has 3 levels. Each box of them has 3 levels, and each apartment is basically a floor and a half, kind of. So this one you can enter and go down, or you can enter and go up, and you have a floor and a half for yourself. And the good thing about this one is basically you have multiple options. So you can go through a small apartment which is separated, and or you can go through, let's say, one is a full apartment, which is all the three levels is yours. So I kind of did the same thing. Let me just go to here, and yeah, I created some basic sketches. I didn't go that much deep into them, but I created small sketches of them, and how you should move around. And you can see that I created some calculations. So you need 2 apartment in the medium. The medium one is the blue, and the medium one contains 2 apartments. So you have 16 of them, so you have 32 apartments. You have 4 apartment studio, which is in this case the yellow one, and it's 8. And you can see where I'm going with this. So yeah, this one is inspired by Coral Reef by Vincent CALLEBAUT architecture. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, because that's how Google pronounced it. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong again. And yeah, so this is the first one. Okay, you can add the link in the description. You can visit it. The second one, which made me understand more about, the sea and how things work in a cluster of shapes, is the Oceanix City by Bjark Ingels Group. You can simply, hello. Yeah, you can simply read about it, read what about the features that you need, read about how things work, what things do you need to work in, to live in a sea, and it's really an amazing project. And the link also in the description. You should really read it, and it will help you to figure out a lot of stuff. And there are a lot of projects I read about, and it was part of my brainstorming and inspiration uh, this process. But these two were the major ones. Like, you can basically read all about them and see how, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can understand everything from there. So, yeah, one more thing is basically those greenhouses, which grows everything. Yeah, about the ventilation and the lighting that we are harvesting from the floating star above. The ventilation is going through these shafts, and also through this shaft, and also some of the lighting is basically through these stripes and these major lights that provide lighting to every part of the star itself. And once you go down, let's just go take a second and go down. You can see that there are some another level which contains also. If you go to here, you can see that this part, I'm sorry, let's go to this one. Where is it? Okay, yeah, this one. This one has the metro, which is basically connecting the stars themselves. Connect the stars. A link between the stars. You don't have to go into submarine to move to another star. You just simply take the metro, and there are some mechanical stuff and happening in this area. And also, yeah, by the way, there is energy storage and water and waste management. There's a lot of things, but I didn't go that deep into it. I just created the spaces. And the 3D ocean farming, which is these voids that you can simply harvest the crops of the ocean from it. And yeah, that's basically, if you want to see how the stars together look like, they basically look like this. So you can basically move from a single star to another star to another star, and you can simply move, these multiple stars form a village, and the village move forward into this shape, which is multiple villages, or maybe a city. And this one kind of a mega city, which is how things should arrange with each other. And yeah, about this part is basically because it's five, or is it called pentagon? Yeah, pentagon shape. Um, you can. I did some research about how they are connecting to each other, and these are some of the cool shapes that I found, which is basically, how things might look together if they are connected. But I took this part from here and I took another one which is here. You can see how they look like. I didn't want them to be like stacked super close to each other. I want to have some space in the ocean, so there are some of them having a narrow space and there are some of them having a bigger space, and it depends on how things are going to grow in the future. So yeah, um, this is basically the design. I think yeah, this is the center of the star. Basically, has restaurants, has some places to work, all these other stuff. But I didn't go that much deep into it, just as a concept. So yeah, what do you think about this design? Like, what's your opinion about it? What's your advice for me to, maybe make something better in the future and all this stuff? One more thing I think about to show you while you maybe give me an advice or something. Text it in the comment because I want it to stay there, not only on the chat. And yeah, let's discuss about it and see what is your opinion about all these cool stuff. Also, while I wanted to, one of the issues I had when I was trying to visualize this one is basically it's a lot of sub-D elements, so it didn't work that much, unfortunately. Like, I got some pictures here. I tried to visualize it, but it was super heavy because it's mostly a sub-D elements. But maybe in the future I will try to figure it out. But it's basically these are the only pictures I did get from the software. This is why I didn't put it. And I tried to get the interior, which was weird, so I didn't put it also. But I used Rhino to do some cool animations. But yeah, let me show you the animations. I think some of them are here. Like this one. This one was a part of the animation I submitted, as I remembered, which basically the drones are moving, the turbines are moving, and there's another one, which is this one. I thought about adding this one at the beginning of the video, but I didn't because I thought it might take just too much time. It's only 1 minute, and this might take a little bit of it. And this one, I put this one also. By the way, the current turbines are moving, and there are moving cars inside. I'm not sure if you can see them. And this one is basically moving toward, like a small submarine moving toward, and there is another submarine in here moving another direction. This one is growing. I put this one in the video of the competition, which is basically showing a lot of elements while it grows, so you can figure out how things is happening inside. But again, maybe it was too fast. Who knows? This one was a little bit of the interior with the cars moving, and I tried to make some kind of a drone shot, like you having a drone and you are moving inside, and you have these kind of movements. And I think one more thing is this one, which is basically an instant cut. It was one of the first ones I did, which shows how the car moves, and but I end up not putting this one in the competition because again it was 1 minute. So yeah, this is basically all the all the things that we are going to talk about in the competition itself. And let's take a break, like a 5 minutes or something. And um, yeah, thank you so much, Scott Valentine, I think. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just for 5 minutes or something, I will leave maybe this picture, and I will come back, maybe make a cup of coffee or something for just a 5 minute, and we will start the presentation. We will start the tutorial after that. By the way, I didn't prepare this, as much SubD tutorial for today. So if you have a specific feature that you want me to show you how to create, because I'm not going to create the whole thing. It took me like I think 4 weeks or 5 weeks to model and design and all that. But if you have a specific feature that you thought this one is complex, or I want to know how this one is done or something, let me know in the chat or in the comment. So I will do it in the next part of the video. Yeah, 5 minutes and I will be back. Hello, 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 I'm back. So, let me just check. Do you guys have any comments on the video yet? Or do you have a specific things, or, do I just start explaining? Okay, let me just check the comments if there's any comments. Okay, I don't see any comments in here. So, yeah, I will just start to work on the tutorial. Are you ready? So, before I start to work on the tutorial, one last feature I didn't show you, which is the vehicles themselves. So let me just go to the shaded mode and show you the vehicles. Um, this is literally my first time to design a vehicle and submit it. So and there's something we say in architecture, like don't use the first sketch because it's usually ugly or something. But that's what I did. I used the first sketch because I was in a rush. So when you zoom to this, did it not zoom? This is what the car looks like. It's just a concept, I didn't design that much, and the lighting is basically continuous, so it's in the back red, and in the front it is yellow, kind of. And by this one, I designed another ones, so let's just zoom to those. I actually want to isolate them so it will be easier to see them, and also I want to see them in the black mode, so go to the solid color and show them to me. At the beginning, I thought to make this one, which is basically a like a minivan or something. It's big enough to has more people inside, but it after I did it, it looked weird and ugly. This I didn't want to go forward with it. So I decided to design cars like this, and from the same design, I made the drones, which is looks kind of like a helicopter or something with this fins, and the same one with the submarine. But the submarine a little bit has these fins shape in it, so I thought it might look like a fish or something with the fin and everything. So it's just a quick sketch for them. So that's basically it. Control Z to end the isolation, and let's go to the shaded. And now let's start a new Rhino file. Yeah, so there are few features I want to talk about them, but first of all, let me just grab, I think let's import, and let's go to the competitions, and there was something in here, an AutoCAD file, I think, maybe this one. Okay, this one was one of the early things that I wanted to design. Like this is the original sketch and how the water moves underneath it, and how the houses will look like, and just a quick sketch and how things will might look together. But anyway, I'm just here to get this shape and simply join it. And what I want to do is basically simple. I want to create let's go to SubD and start to build our own star. So let's create faces, which is basically going to be one by actually let's keep it like that and see what we will do. First of all, I want to make sure that I am on the Y axis, so it will be easier to figure things out. And let's make this one from here to here. And in this tutorial, I'm not going to be super specific, but I'm going to make the rough shape of things. So let's go to this one. I don't want this one. Let's delete it. And I want let's select this one and simply move it down to here, and maybe actually move both of them down. So let's go to the shaded mode and let's work on the shaded mode. Let's go to these two and delete them, and actually delete this one as well. And so we will have something like this. Of course, when you look at it, and actually let's work on the ghosted mode. And when you look at it in here, let's move this a little bit like that. So it will be kind of like this. Maybe we should move it just a little bit. Where is it? Let's go to before I go to radiate, let's create a circle. I want a circle, and I want it between 1 and 2 and 3, so it will be tangible for all the faces. And for now, let's go to SubD and select our own SubD and go to radiate, which is this one. And I want the number of radials to be 5, and I want the center to be this one. What happened? Okay, redo again this one. And I want to move this down, so you are basically, you know, editing your star based on that. So one more thing I want to do is selecting this edge, and I want to start to add a little bit of details, to add lightings, to add place for the door, to add all of these things. So let's start to do that. Let's get to this, and in this case I want to be absolute, and let's say I want this to be proportional like this, and let's try to push this way. And once I pushed it this way, it's now displaced, or let's say not connected. So it's okay. That's kind of what I want to do. Not exactly, but let's stitch those like that. Select those two and start to push them down. Select those, push them down, kind of like this. So it will gives me the shape of the, uh, the beak of the star. And after that, I want to add a small feature in here, which is basically this. I will go to insert SubD edge and make sure it's group. And in here, you can see it's 0.5 or 0.1, I'm sorry, which is super small. We want it bigger. So for now, let's say 10, maybe 10 makes sense, kind of. And you can simply extract it. And once you are extracting it, you can move this up and move it around to create the dome shape that you want to work on. You can figure out how you want it to look like. But one cool thing about this is that it's not it's not a part of this shape. So it's now, if you want to make it arrayable or make it radiatable, you need to make it to apply radiate to it as well. But for now, let's not worry about that. Let's select this. I'm sorry, let's select this one. I want to select this one, and let's add the lighting feature above the door. But before we add the lighting feature, let's add, let's make a space for the door itself. So let's rise this up a little bit and maybe move those down. So um, so you will have a little bit of not crease, but almost a close bending right down here. And you know what? Let's create. Let me just check how the. Yeah, exactly. Let's go back to here. And these two will has the door, so I will simply make them mode group, but this time is too huge, so let's go 5. 5 even is more huge. Let's make it 2, and 2 is great. We can simply go to this one and make a sliding, and the sliding should be maybe around here, and this one should be maybe smaller and move down. So when you make it, when you have something like this, you start to get a bendy shape around it. So when you go to those and simply how we can do this, let's go to Gump relocate and make from this point to this point, and I want to extrude it this way. So now you have some kind of an entrance in here. You can simply, bevel this one. So when you bevel it, not that much though. So let's bevel it, let's say around this area. So you will see a little bit of shape happening in here, and the same thing will happen in here. So you can simply extract this one. Let's extract it. So now you start to have a little bit of door door in this area. So let's create one more thing, which is by the way, this one is weird looking, so let's just make it down just like that, and this one as well. Yeah, actually this looks cool. And let's go to this one and add the light features, which is in here. Let's go to yeah, this one, and let's simply select this one, which is unproportional again, and let's select this one and double click on the curve and make it both sides. Yes, and just go up to here a little bit. So when you look at it, you will see that you will have now sharpness somehow, and this sharpness starting to show something interesting. Before we do that, let's go back to one more step, and let's actually push those back. Like, let's select those and push them back, because I want the lights to go down here, not around. So you can simply select those and again push those and select this one, double click and add one more and select the upper one. Actually, before we add one more, let's select those and add it to here, and this is the range I'm working in. So let's add one in here and double click and one in here. This is starting to get kind of pretty cool, but I want the lights to start doing this shape, which is basically moving and making the wave shape. So let's go back to here and start to select some of the points, which is one. Let's ignore the first one and get moving. And simply we can go to Gumber relocate, and from here to here, and I will simply move them, you know, a little bit like this. So now you will have something like this, but I want it to be more obvious than that. So I will simply select all of them like this, double click, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and simply add crease. So when you see it, by the way, the good thing about that is you can see it in, you know, happening in all sides and everything. So that is cool because now you are editing just like in other softwares like Maya and Blender and all of that. You are basically creating everything in one. Like once you have done this part with all of its details, everything else is great. And by the way, this one is weird, so let's select all these vertices and push them down, all of them like this. Okay. And once you push them down, you start to see this shape. You have multiple options. Either you know, make it you know, select fill SubD hole, and this will happen, which is basically filling your SubD opening in here, and the same thing will happen in the top. And after that, we could start adding more details. Like we could simply select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and add mode group, and started to add one more feature in here, maybe trying to scale it. But when you scale, let's say scale to D, and try to scale from the center, so it will not create any distortions, and scale, like figure things out or start to create cool stuff. For instance, let's create a an opening in here or something. So let's raise this part up and maybe start to add a small feature in here. And this one I wanted to scale it down from this one to this one and scale it to this area, and maybe start to raise something from it so it will start to take shape. And the cool thing about this is that if this area doesn't look nice, I can simply stitch those 2 points like this, 1, 2, and I can simply stitch those so it will be smoother. Maybe I can simply select all those faces, bold them up a little bit so it will be more sharper like this. And let's add, you know, more details in here. I'm not designing right now. I'm just showing the what are the possibilities of the SubD when you are working in Radiate, and what how can you add details like lights and openings and extrusions and all these kind of stuff. So let's insert SubD edge again, and let's see how they look in the mode group. And you can simply select them all again and add one more time, and you can simply extract this. So now you have something like this, with which you can see it in in my design somewhere, like maybe in here you can see we have some cool shapes happening inside. You can simply let's go to this part, and maybe I don't maybe I don't need those, so let's assume that I want to delete them, and I will simply go back to Oh, because I did that. Okay, let's delete those, all of them, and let's stitch those, 1 and 2. Actually, let's stitch this point with this point and see what it will happen. And you know what, let's move it to the middle in here. Actually, let's stitch it with this one. You know what, I don't like it. Let's go back. Back one more time. Let's keep the one in the middle like this, and let's add, actually let's add this one. Yeah, let's go to those, but I want those to be I want this one to be 2, let's say, and scale it down. Actually, just scale from here to here and maybe scale it down just like this, and maybe extrude it. Yeah, just extrude this one, so now you will have multiple ones extruded at the same time. You can simply make them away from each other. Like, before we extrude, let's move this one from here to maybe the middle. Yeah, to here, so when I extrude them they will not be like super close to each other. And yeah, I forgot the light. Let's go back to the light and double click and simply bevel. Let's bevel, and in the beveling I want to keep the creases, but I want the bevel to be super small. So when you are working with bevel, make sure to work in the flat mode. It's super easier to work in the flat mode, and once you figure out your lights, you can simply double click and extract them, and now you will have, let's go to the rendered mode, and you will have your light. Actually, let's add a material to them. Let's go to why did I do this? Yeah, let's select this one. Actually, let's select everything, and it will be easier to just remove the bigger ones just like that. And now you have the lights, and after that you can simply go to here, add a new material, and there's something called emission, which is lighting basically, and you can maybe add golden, not golden, but like a warm light, something like that. And the intensity of it, you can choose what's the intensity of it, and you can simply go to the material. It's now already in here, but if you want to assign something to it, you can simply assign to object, which is uh, basically like this. uh, let's reduce this. Okay, so because we extracted those faces, we the radiate stopped, so we can simply maybe go to the top. I'm going to select the main face only and isolate it, and simply delete those and delete those with those. I think now if I created, let's hope, if I set from here to here, and let's show, and if I set radiate 5, okay, okay, again radiate, okay, and the center is this, and okay, and let's see what happens. Yeah, we are back to normal. Now we are back to the same shape, and we can simply add details as much as we need. Let's say that I want those to not look that you know, smooth, because they are super smooth, like over smoothed. So let's just bevel them a little bit, but not that much, like just a little bit. Okay, actually let's delete those. Let's select everything, it will be easier, and bevel just like that. So it will create this cool shape, and you know, you can simply add more details. Actually, let's build them up like this. So when you build them up, you will kind of create the effect, this effect down here. And actually, one of the cool things that you can do is to create something coming out of this area, or maybe, yeah, it's coming out of this area. Like we could simply go to, yeah, let's create insert SubD edge, but in this case let's make it single. Okay, but let's make it 5 or something. I want it to be smaller, and let's create an extrusion, but this time I want it to move inside. So let's move it to, you know, from, let's move it from here to here, kind of. So we will start to add the features that will grow inside and shape the main core of the. And let's simply delete this, and let's double click, and actually let's move it up a little bit, maybe move it back just like that, and start to extrude. And once you start to extrude, maybe start to melt them together. So you can simply select those and bridge, and once you bridge, delete this one, and you can simply and extrude it again. And once you start to extrude it again, you can simply you know, you can start to add more details. Let's say that I want to move this down, and let's add one more, and one more, and let's add one more, and one more. So now you can simply select something like this. Actually, let's one and two to here. Let's bridge those. Not you. Okay, let's ignore this for now. What I want to say is basically you can simply connect this one with this one. So you can create a bridge in here, but I want this to be 3, so, or maybe 4. So, oh, that is not what I want. Okay, so because it's radiating, you need to connect those two at the end, because it will simply not connect. Or because it's mirrored, maybe because I'm mirroring, I'm literally mirroring. You can remove the mirror, but once you remove the mirror, the radiate will remove. Like we can simply select this and right click, so it will remove the radiate and the mirror, both of them. But anyway, you can. What I want to say is basically you can connect those. Actually, let's delete this one and delete this one and bridge one. Okay. And let's yeah, right click and delete those. Let's select those and bridge them, and let's make them 4 maybe, and now you will get something like that. Maybe if we deleted the top ones like this. Let's slide this one into, let's slide this one into to here, somewhere here, and maybe slide this one to here, so it will look a little bit simpler. And this one maybe, I think one of the cool features to work on is the areas down here, because the areas down here are more interesting when you look at them in this one. It has a lot of features and a lot of cool elements. So let's see how can we do these legs. Let's say that I want to create legs happening in here. So first of all, I want to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to go to single mode, and I want to create something happening inside just like that. Okay, and inside that I want to create another one with a single just like that. And I want to scale them. Let's scale 2D from here to here and just a little bit like that, and extrude it down just like this. And when you look at it, you will start to notice some kind of a shape happening. So what you need to do is basically, let's select 1, 2. Actually, I want to radiate this one, so let's isolate, and let's go to the top view again, and let's delete almost all of them like this with those, and delete, and let's delete those. So I want to see how they look like. Okay, that is basically what I need, and let's show everything again and simply select the circle. And actually I want to lock the circle because I don't want it to go away, so let's lock it and isolate, and let's mirror this one. Not mirror, I'm sorry. Move from let's go to Gumbo relocate, and I want this one to move this direction because I want this area to look kind of like this, and I want this part to get more shape inside it. So I will get, in this case, group, and uh, let's add this one. And after adding it, I want it to look a little bit like an oval shape, not like that. So I will start to maybe moving it in a free form way. Maybe move this one to here, this one to here, kind of. Actually, let's move this one a little bit away like this. So when you get to this one, 1, 2, 3, and adding a crease to it, so you will start to get this shape, which is basically kind of we are getting somewhere with our shape. But let's say I want to add these kind of cool creases, this one in here. Hello. Yeah, let's go a little bit to here. Actually, let's hide this one. I'm sorry, because it's kind of annoying. And yeah, let's see how can we add these cool shapes, like these cool lighting around the shapes that we are working on. So for now we are making the bigger one, so let's see how can we do that. We can simply go to here. Come on. Actually, I forgot to save this one, so yeah, you should remind me, guys. I'm not good with remembering to save. So yeah. Okay, let's say, I'm sorry, save. And for now, let's put it on the desktop. Let's call it new star, maybe. Star. Actually, let's create a new folder, call it new star. So Control C, new folder. Hello. Control V. Control V. And yeah, after that, we can simply select one, two. Actually, let's select it in here. One, two, three. And add crease. So you will start to see something happening, which is pretty cool. You can simply add a little bit of, you know, depth in here. Maybe you don't need this one, so you can simply remove the crease from it. And this is how it looks like. You know, let's go to the rendered view and see. Yeah, we are having something happening in here. So let's go back to the shaded mode. And in this case, I don't want this one because it looks weird. Okay, so let's remove the crease from these ones, and I want this one to have the crease. But let's say, or maybe this one, maybe actually, let's try to make it work on this side. So let's go to Gumber Relocate and select those and try to, you know, scale them down a little bit, just like that. Actually, if we go too deep in here, it will look nice. Actually, yeah, that's what I want. And yeah, let's select this one again and add. But in this case, it still look weird, so we simply double click and bevel. And once we bevel, we select the amount of bevel that we need. But in this case, I want it to be proportional, so it will make more sense, kind of. And yeah, when you look at those, maybe we can simply scale them down a little bit. So you will have lights in here, but this one is too much, so we can simply move it to the middle. So you will kind of have lights coming to this side. Maybe it's too deep into the sea. I'm sorry, the star itself. So let's push it just a little bit down, so it will be pulled away a little bit. And we can simply, you know, select all this and extract it again. But again, once you extract things, you know, the radiate command, it will stop. So I think it will be better to create everything you need, and after that create you know, the after that separate everything. Okay, so yeah, let's go to this one and create the I'm sorry, let's go to here. Yeah, come on. Mode group, no. Make it single, and let's extrude it to down here. Actually, before we extrude it, let's maybe scale it like this. Maybe move it a little bit like this and start to extrude it down. Once you extrude it down, you can simply start to see what you are doing with this one. So we can simply push this one away, and actually it is a little bit too much, so let's push those away because I want those to look like you know, supporting the star, but not that much. You know, they are not super heavy elements. And let's select this face and push it this way, and now we have these cool shapes, I think. um, let's say that I want to make them connect together, just like what is going on in in here. Like you can see the lights are going from here and moving around and moving to the other side, and creating some kind of an interesting shape around them, even those ones as well. So what we can do is basically go to here, and those one are basically simple because you can simply select those and add. So you are getting this part, and if you want to get the part outside it, you need more segments. You can simply select one, two. Actually, let's range, and let's add something like this in the middle, maybe. I'm sorry, let's add it on this one, which is the lighter one, and let's add ring, and let's add it in here. And yeah, after that, what can we do? We can simply select this one and stitch it with this one. So stitch it with this one, and let's try to select the one in here. One, two, three, four, and let's add crease, and let's see. Yeah, we've got it, kind of. After that, it's just a matter of actually, I don't think we need those. Let's just get one, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, and simply add them like this. And yeah, you already got it, and simply add let's say the bevel that you need. By the way, I suggest you do all the bevels at once, so they all look similar and exactly the same kind of. Again, work on the flat mode so you can see what's going on. And these are some of the cool lights that you have, and you have them everywhere. And you have the base. You can add more things in here, which is basically um, actually these ones are kind of bigger. So if we go to the top and somehow we try to move those, actually let's try to move all these vertices, push them to here, and those ones as well. That is weird. Okay, let's push those, and let's push those because those are not supposed to be here, and maybe close them together. Maybe those one should be a little bit back, maybe it should be wider, and now we should simply push those just a little bit so we can have more space to add the columns in here. We can add the columns by simply adding actually let's bevel this, select this and ring it. Let's go to the side, it will be easier. Not sure about it. Let's add something in here. Let's go to from here to the middle, maybe to the middle again, to the middle, and see, yeah, it's working. And simply let's stitch those together because I want those to collaborate with each other, but it's not exactly like this. I think we should connect it from here, from here to the middle, to the middle, and simply stitch Actually, let's see what they will look like. Why not? Let's just slide those. This one, slide it in this direction a little bit, and let's put something in here. And what should we do? I think we should let's add only those and make them single. Okay, and just scale this one to be small enough like this, and I'll just freeform it to this area, and we should select something moving around. So I think in this case we should make those and add something in the middle, let's say right here, and let's add this one to here kind of. So let's stitch those together and let's see how they work. So now I will simply select those. It's basically, you are playing with curves and movements and all these kind of stuff. So this is what they look like, but I don't like what's happening in here, so I will simply stitch this area because I want them to look smoother. So stitch it to here. I'm sorry, stitch those to this one. So they will look like that, but let's simply move them away like from this, from the middle to here. So still need some work. Maybe those ones as well. Actually, it's too thick, so let's just try to move this somewhere here. So yeah, this part makes way much more sense. And by the way, if we want to add the turbines, we could simply start to add details inside them. So um, we can simply select those, stitch. Before we do that, let's add this bevel. I'm sorry. Let's add the bevel. I feel like I'm not focused enough. Okay, and let's go to this and start to add the something in here, and double click and add one more, but let's make it smaller like this, and simply remove the one in the middle. And you know what, let's scale it down. I don't want it to be that big, and let's simply select one and this one. And what I want to do is add a face inside them, single, but this is too much. Let's say two, maybe three. Yeah, three looks nice, and simply bridge them. Select this one and bridge, and yeah, okay, and double click on this and slide it closer to here, so you will have some kind of a column to add your things on it. Let's just move this or scale it just to look nicer, just like this. And now you have let's say the basic shape of your the basic column or rod or beam. Let's say beam, the basic beam that you will add things to it. Oh my god, I'm live for 3 hours. That is too much. But it's a cool project, isn't it? It looks nice. And yeah, let's show everything. And yeah, those are super huge. Actually, let's go to this one and let's isolate. Let's go to the top again. I want to do all the radiate stuff that I want to do. So I will simply delete those, and be careful, delete those as long as I am, away from the unnecessary things that I don't want. I think I'm fine now. Let's try. Let's say again, mirror, not mirror, I'm sorry, reflect. Okay, and before we move forward, I think this one is super huge, and yeah, let's make it nicer. And let's go to the top. I'm just going to move it by eye, just like this. I'm not going to think about it that much. And this one as well, just a little bit to here. So when you look at it again, it makes way much more sense. Maybe this one as well. Okay, not those, just this one. And let's move it. Let's go to Gumbo relocate. And from this middle to this middle, and push it a little bit inside. Wow. Okay, you get the idea. I just don't want to waste a lot of time adjusting things because it's a tutorial. So let's go to radiate again, and okay, and this okay, and we will have our shape again back and show. Actually, it looks cool. What do you think? Like, we have something happening in here. By the way, you can add more details. Like, we can simply, start to add the surrounding shapes. But to add them, we need to simply select those and try to push them this way. No, not down. This way a little bit, so we can use the part in down there to add the elements that is happening. By the way, there's something cool I wanted to show you, which is basically let's say I have this shape. I will simply get this one, two, three, four, five, and I'll make a copy out of it. And stuff, it will uh, let's select all of these and simply bevel. You will see that it's not the same as this, so I can simply add subdivide and select all the faces that I want to subdivide, and now I have something to work with, but it at the same time it's the same outline as the old one. So what I want to do is basically maybe selecting let's select those areas because I want to create simply the parts above. Let's say that I want to create a drone landing in here. So I can simply, let's select this area maybe. And one, two, three. And let's make it a zone. So to make it a zone, let's add something inside, but I want it to be group, not single. And once it's a group, you can simply make it into a zone, and once it turned into a zone, you can select it again, extrude it a little bit. Once it extract it and extrude it, and you can simply scale it a little bit down, and you can simply make this shape. And after making this shape, let's say that I want to add one more detail inside, which is this area. And this area I want to create the, let's say, the turbines. Let's say I want to add the turbines to this area. So I can simply select this one and add more details just like that. And once I add all these details, I can simply isolate, and I can select all the faces and add single. And once I add single, I make sure that it's reasonable number, let's say 1 or maybe 0.5, and I start to extrude. But this number is not reasonable. Let's make them a group. No, I'm sorry, single. Okay, but 0.5 is way too much. Let's say 0.25. I'm sorry, 0.9. 2, 1, 1.2. Okay, and extrude a little bit. By the way, this part, I think it would be better if we did it in Grasshopper. So let's go to Grasshopper. And let's simply import this SubD and set one SubD, which is this one. And let's deconstruct it. Deconstruct prep. And let's, make an evaluation. Evaluate surface. Make sure that it's reparameterized and it's in the middle. Basically a polygon. But this polygon is going to be at this planes, so it's exactly oriented to this, and I want it to be 4 sides, so the sides is basically set number 4. Okay, and the radius of them is, let's say, 0.25. Not that much, maybe a little bit bigger. And the rotation, I want to rotate it. Rotate, not this one. Rotate this one. I want those geometry rotated on those planes with the uh, number of 45 degrees. I want them to be rotated at 45 degrees. So this makes much more sense. Now I can simply make them move upward. And let's say I'm going to graph this one, and I'm going to move them up. Actually, let's move them with a series of numbers, SER, in the Z direction. Yeah, I'm going to merge, but I'm going to graft and merge the faces in here. And I'm going to graft, actually, and simplify, just to be sure. Simplify and select those, and simply loft, just to be sure. Let's see. Two zero one two. Oh, I shouldn't graph this, I'm sorry. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 exactly. That's what I need. And now I have my preview off, and now I have my loft. For now I want it straight because I don't want it to, and I want it to be aligned. Align. And what else? Actually, the scale is a little bit too much, so let's make it smaller. And one more thing is make this, actually, let's keep this one and make this symbol mesh. And actually, let's weld it. Weld, graft, sorry, flatten. And let's just go to I'm sorry, SubD. SubD from mesh. And now you have your, turbines, kind of the columns are ready, but it's needed to be welding. This one needs to be like this, and now you have your shape, your welded shape ready. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is basically it. Not exactly, because this one is not good enough. So what if I said mesh from SubD? Is it going to work? And we simply import, got the meshes instead. No, actually, let's extract the mesh itself. Let's select this one and extract the mesh and use the mesh itself. Let's go to, let's put the mesh and explode it. Explode it. I'm sorry, explode the mesh, not exactly. And after exploding the mesh, I want the mesh to be read as faces. So we are going to get the original shape. Let's see. Let's hide those. Yeah, exactly. Work your way starting from mesh, and that's it. You can simply, copy, make the model of the turbine and copy it to multiple places. Just or move 2 points. Like you can simply select, let's say, the last element in here. Let's reverse. Let's copy this one. Control C and reverse what's in here. And list item. And after this list item, get the center of it. I'm going to assume, let's go to the SubD. Let's create a cylinder somehow, like small one, just like this. Let's go to the top. Where is it? Let's select all these faces and let's offset SubD somehow to this side, 0.3. Okay, let's make this. Let's make this smaller. And this is just, you know, you could model it, but I'm just showing you how to model something and move it. You can simply go to SubD again, set one SubD, and get the center of it, and move to point, and simply move this geometry from this point to those points. Of course, it's super huge, so we need to scale it like 0.05 or something, so you can see it. It's going in here, and that's it basically. And if you want to rotate it, it's the same thing. You should rotate it around these points, and yeah. Um, uh, what should we do? I think for today it's already past 2.5 hours, so I'm kind of exhausted. But these files are going to be available on Patreon, and yeah, um, the files of the competition, the main file of the competition is going. I have two proposals for it. One is going to be on Patreon, but I will create one more higher tier and I'll put it in it. Or if you want to get it, I think I could make it available or on one of the 3D platforms that you can download the file from it for a price, of course. So, which one do you think is better if you want to get this one? Make it on Patreon or you know, put it on a 3D platform. Take this one and let's preview off, and let's bake this one and let's preview off and see we have something in here. You can see it looks like that, and we should have, if we set show, and we have this one. um, I thought we might have more time, but yeah, it's already 2.5 hours. I think that's it for today. So, what do you think, guys? What do you think about today? What do you think about the design, the modeling stuff? Did you learn something new? Did you, you know, have anything happening? Uh, um, about the file of the main competition, this file, uh, two of the most supported Patreons will get it for free directly into your email. So that is a gift for me, kind of. And if anyone else want to get this file, let me know. I will add it to Patreon, or I will get it to a 3D software. Let me know in the comments. 3D, I'm sorry, 3D platform. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being here today. Have a nice day, and see you in the next one.